Okay, we're going to take a look at the NSPIRE inspection system. This is the main screen. This is obviously the Salesforce app. Each software provider will have a different look and different feel to things. This is the demonstration model, but it gives you a good idea of how vouchers work and what decision trees are. Decision trees are to help everybody have consistent inspection protocol. That is often a highlighted area problematic of the current HQS, is that each inspector may have different results based on how they feel something looks. So they are very, very different. Decision trees help make that consistent. It helps with reporting. It helps give the landlord a consistent idea of things. The other thing to mention on this system is that any fail requires a picture. And so it is best to kind of practice how to take pictures. You do not want to have any personal identifiable information, family photos, or other things that pop up within those pictures. So at this case here, we'll be just taking pictures of blank space in front of my iPad as I'm recording this inspection. The big thing is to create a new inspection. And then underneath this, it's going to have the, it gives you the iPad or the amount or the time. So we are having to go through here and say, well, we want inspection. We need the assessment that I currently have in here. Then we're going to schedule the date. You can set the time, and you can set the inspection type. So on this, we're just going to do a special QC, which is quality control, overall status. A lot of times we're putting the household name or phone number in the overall status. It's not supposed to be a recording field, but trying to add in that information as you're out in the field to see what inspections you have. The overall status should give you that client name and a quick list that you would see. So obviously the best place for it. So I'm just going to put in my first name, and that is David, and just leave it at that. HUD allows you within this that you're able to select or create units. We're going to go in and select a unit. Within this, we are going to type in part of an address and then do a search. And it should come up. Now, you're going to have to enter in all your units. Hopefully, whatever system you're on, you're able to migrate those units over. Any existing units that you're able to migrate over so that you're able to identify and search them quickly. From this, then, one of the great tools that you have within NSPIRE that you may not have anywhere else is that then that unit has a history. A lot of times that information was never kept or was poorly kept within things. Again, this is something that Congress has wanted and HUD has wanted. So now there will be a recorded history within those units. So we're going to choose this one here, 302nd Avenue, number 200, which happens to be my office suite. So we'll save that, and we're going to save that inspection. So as you see on this here, I have got 2 inspections listed. This happens to be my inspection list. It happens to be for today. You can look future, up to 30 days past, back into 30 days, or all of them. You can change the screen type of what all items you have. Again, by having that overall status comments, allows you to have that name within there and makes it much, much easier. So we're going to click on this for inspection. And you'll notice that there are 3 areas for the main inspection. There's a unit, the inside common areas, such like hallways, and the outside. You'll notice that at the top there's an inspection number. This is something generated by HUD or by the Salesforce app. Outside, what you'll end up doing when you click on any of these is that you're recording a defect. You're not recording a pass, you're recording any defects. So within this, we'll open up a defect. Now the defect areas, you'll see all the different categories that we have available. A decision tree means that it's going to start off with those 3 spaces, then we're going to go into these defects, and then it keeps adding more things to it. So if we're looking at foundation, what is exposed, if it's, the structure has exposed rebar. So then that gave you that idea of what a decision tree is. You will need to choose one of these. If it does not meet those categories, then it is not a fail. So you are looking for the fails. Again, it's something where it's going to walk you through those categories, and you're hoping that you find what it is that you're looking for. If there happens to be something that is a fail, it should show up. If it does not, then it is something where you might need to be doing some research where something might be within this. There's always kind of the life safety trick where if you have to record something and say it is an issue. But these same items are going to show up in unit. The inside common areas are going to show the same, and the outside areas. So again, it's these 3 areas that you're going to be concentrating on. You want to get used to how decision trees work. It takes time, and every revision seems to bring new things from HUD and what you're looking for. Again, some of the newer things that you're going to be wanting to make sure, smoke detectors in every bedroom. You want to make sure that eventually that all of those smoke detectors are sealed battery or plug-in, that there's carbon monoxide detectors present whenever there is any fuel that has burned. You want to be looking at mold. It's now recordable. Hole sizes and walls, you need to be paying attention to how large they are. Some of the things with wiring are different. GFCIs or the arc breakers are very common that they are not in many of the units that we inspect. They do need to be in there. Again, many of these things are fire code or building code. They may not have applied to older units because the code then may be different than now, or it was never enforced as it should be. So it is something that you very much need to be aware of, that you may have some pushback. But it is good to understand that these things are required, not just by HUD, but they should be required by your local building code and fire code. So within that, we're going to take a look at some stuff within the unit. And I'm going to walk you through a few of these just so you kind of get an idea of where some common things find up. So for a smoke detector, for instance, we're going to go into life safety in the unit, and you see that there's call for aids, the carbon monoxide, fire door, egress, fire extinguisher, infestation is in here, smoke alarm, trip hazards. So we're going to look at smoke alarm, and of course it asks you these 2 questions. Does it not produce the audio or visual alarm, or is it not installed in each bedroom or on each level? If we say that it fails, it's asking that again, and then it comes up with this screen. So this allows you to take a photo, and so you're going to use your camera, and you're going to take a photo, and you're going to use that photo. Now that photo becomes part of this inspection of this unit record. It becomes part of the inspection report. And you'll notice as you scroll down, you can add comments to that defect. You need to add the location. It's going to automatically list whether or not something is a life-threatening 24-hour. If it is a 30-day fail, you'll add the floor. Obviously, it's a fail. If there happens to be a room area you're able to put it in, if it happens to be something that you need to, that is corrected later on, your software provider will go through those things. But there are ways that you do a re-inspect, and you need to approve each item to be able to then approve that new inspection. So we're going to record this item. So this item is a fail. As you had seen within that screen, carbon monoxide and infestations were there. Life safety will just walk through carbon monoxide. It gives you these 4 items, and of course each item is going to have something different, and then it goes you back through that information. Infestation is another one that you can kind of walk through. What it is that may become an extensive infestation. It's going to have those questions, and then you take a photo. Again, it has the fail type in there. You do not need to be deciding that. Those things are already made decisions for you. Fire extinguishers, if they are present, what things go through and then that. If it is missing, if it was something that's required, it becomes a 24-hour. Going back, one of the other common fails is underneath heating and ventilation, and that is mold. So mold ends up being underneath there. The bathroom fan is underneath mold. It's underneath heating and ventilation and mold, not underneath its own category. That is always a high fail item. So it does walk you through what that item is and needing to take that photo and describe where it is at. And then we're going to record that fail. Now, some of the other ones that I'm going to walk you through: electrical, GFCI or AFCI. This one is if it is not working. So if they are present but they are not working, that's when you do this one. Otherwise, you are going to be looking at outlet and switch. An unprotected outlet is present within 6 feet of water source, and that is the issue with GFCI. Any outlet that is within 6 feet of a water source, so you think of your kitchen, your bathroom, your washer, dryer, there needs to be a GFCI, or it needs to be on a breaker that is able to trip, so an AFCI. So that is where you would find it if there isn't one. If there is one and it fails, that's got its own category. Again, there's some of these other things that you're looking at improperly wired. If you do a wire tester, an outlet, burned, cracked, or damaged, those things are all underneath here. Another issue we see quite often is that the electrical panel is unable to be found or accessed because of clutter. So again, that's going to be underneath your unit, electrical, service panel, not accessible, and then you're going to be taking a picture of it. So those are those things that come up. Give you an idea of some things underneath appliances: cabinets, cooking appliances, countertops, refrigerator, water heater. They're all in here to go through those things that are required. Refrigerator is a big one that you end up seeing that is not cooling. That's just not keeping things at a safe storage or safe temperature. So you're able to take a picture of that and go on from there. That is a 30-day fail. One other one that a couple of items that we want to go through is in all structure and finishes. All structure and finishes, including that there is wall coverings, finishes, interior. This is where, if you have an interior wall that has a hole, this is where you're going to need to be looking at. Does it meet the category of a fail, or is this just an item that needs no attention at the time being? So there are things that you want to be taking a look at, and whether or not it is a fail, and go through those inspection decision trees. Again, decision trees are made to help you stay consistent and make those decisions. Does this pass or fail? Based on what HUD, inspection standards, building code, and fire code are. Door entry, again, this has got some information in there and what you're going to be walking back through. Finally, the other one that we often will see, you see stairs, handrails, properly installed, missing, not secure, and floor covering that it might be curled, have presence of decay or buckling. The one other item that I wanted to kind of show a little bit, there's lots of stuff within plumbing that we want to make sure that people are aware of when you go through different things. Again, stuff is in here. Now, a tub or shower is inoperable. At least one operable bath or tub is present elsewhere. So if you have a bathtub that is working in the main level, but it is not working in the lower level, that is going to be okay because you have one that does operate. So it does pass. So we do want people to know that. So as we go through things, it will be making sure that you have all of these decisions gone through, whether it is in the unit, if it is in the inside common area, again, the same decision tree kind of procedure that you're looking at, or if it is in the outside area. The decision trees are helping you stay consistent and make those decisions, going through everything. So we're going to then, the one thing about it with the decision trees is if you were to try to sit and type these things out, you were talking about hundreds of pages. The best practice is to go onto the NSPIRE website and look at that information. Write down the most common 15 to 20 items that fail. And as you go into the software or look at those decision trees, kind of sort out and figure out where they're at. A good practice for training employees is to have pictures of those types of items or on a 3x5 card, noting what is failing. Have the person use your office suite or other numbers or addresses to test it out and give them a couple of cards to find these things and then go out and look for them. It takes time to get used to how decision trees work. You are looking for fails, not for pass. You are looking for the failed items, again, that have to meet building code and fire code. So as you go through this, the one other thing that HUD wanted was, this is completed. So I'll give you an idea here. By the way, completed means that the inspection was done. Incomplete was that for some odd reason you started the inspection and could not finish it. Unsuccessful is that the person was not home or refused the inspection. So we're going to say complete. We're going to submit all. One of the things that HUD wanted was a universal inspection report. And so your report may look different than this, but this is what Salesforce came up with. And it is actually a really nice report. It tells you what the housing authority is, the unit inspected it, who did it, when it was done, what type, did it pass. And it's going to actually give you those defects. Again, it's going through and it tells you where it is, what room, the defect location, the floor, and it's going to have that picture on it. So this is that report. And then you're able to email that report. It comes out, you can extract it as a PDF. Again, that's the Salesforce software. The software you have may be much different. But that kind of walks you through what a decision tree is, how the software goes. Again, the decision trees are there to help you make consistent calls on inspections and not things that stray away from life safety issues. So the decision trees are a good tool to utilize. They take some time and learning curve to do, but they are very, very useful, and they help in the long term of keeping health and safety as a priority for our units and our tenants.